to. And to be honest, I don't even know if anybody's going to show up. So we'll see what happens. My chat thing is not working though, so that's interesting. It is Saturday morning, and I am sitting here with all of these lovely magnolia blocks that I have put together. I think there are 11 of them that I have done, and I need to do, I think, five more to put the quilt top together. This is a project that I started with Tiffany from Tiffany's Quilting Life on one of her live streams. And um, I just figured nobody's home. Well, that's not true. Jason's not home because he's working out. Mom's still asleep. Zoe is up, but she has been up for a while and she decided to go back up to her room. So I got a cup of coffee and I figured I would catch up with all of you while I sit here. And so maybe nobody shows up. Maybe everybody shows up. Who knows? Good morning, Janet. I figured this would probably be a little bit more of an intimate live since it is so early and to give me a chance to chat with you guys. So can you even hear me? I'm just looking. I'm just realizing right now that maybe you can't even hear me. Oh, good, you can hear me, but it was probably very faint, wasn't it? There, that will help. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Monica. Good morning, Janet. I said that already. My volume should be a little bit better now, so sorry about that. I have my wireless mic way over here, and I was just talking, and the way these wireless mics work is they're designed to be very close to your mouth, so they're not that sensitive, which makes sense. I kind of like these Saturday morning lives because home is very quiet. It's very peaceful. I mean, listen, do you hear that? I know, right? It's just so quiet. Um, but it's very peaceful and there's really nobody here. But more importantly than that, it's a whole different audience Saturday morning than it is Friday night. So, yay. Sandy said it's 5 a.m. there. Oh goodness. Yeah, it's very early for some of you. That's why I was like, well, I don't know if anybody will be up, but some people might be. And since I'm up and I'm looking to do this, I figure we'll just work on it. Let me give you an overhead view. I want to catch you up on the blocks that I have created so far. I've got a few more to go, but these are turning out so beautifully that I am just completely just like I am loving this project. So let me get you in here in frame. So this is the first block. This is the second. I love this print. Isn't that gorgeous? And then we've got this really pretty plaid. Got a thread on there. Apparently we've got a few threads on there that we'll have to take care of. Janet Johnson said it's 8:15 p.m. for her in Australia. See, this time works well for you, maybe, because when we go live on Friday nights, it's in the morning over in Australia. This one is really pretty, and if I'm being honest, I'm thinking I'm gonna probably want to get more of this print to be a nice thick border around the outside. I'm thinking, or maybe this would be really pretty as the backing. HSS is in Boston. Hello. I like this one too. I'm just really drawn to these teals and aqua colors, but I even don't hate their gray. This has a little bit of a brown tone to it. It's not bad. And I love my corals. So this whole line is just absolutely gorgeous. This is By the Seashore by Sherry and Chelsea. It's one of their new fabric lines. I actually did not buy a fat quarter bundle of this, and let me tell you why. So, I don't mind having a fat quarter bundle or some little bit of it in my stash, but I am trying really hard to follow this process where let's make one project with that fabric line. And my reasoning for that is there are so many fabric lines out there that are just so beautiful, and I want them all. But it seems a little silly for me to buy a fat quarter bundle for my stash of that fabric line and then a kit or other pre-cuts to use that in a project. I feel like I don't know if I'll do this forever, but what I challenged myself to do is instead of going all in and buying all the fabric from by the seashore because I thought it was so gorgeous, instead of spending the 100, on the fat quarter bundle, why not buy a kit? Let and then just pick a kit with a pattern that I absolutely love, make that quilt, and don't buy a fat quarter bundle. So I did splurge and I bought myself one charm pack of this, but I am challenging myself for this by the seashore line to let my desire for this fabric be channeled into this quilt. And I think that's actually um kind of inspiring me to want to work with the quilt more because there isn't more of this. Like if I want to work with this fabric, I'm going to work on this quilt. HSS says, "Oh, I really like that last print. I think you said by the seashore. Where did you get the fabric? If you don't mind me asking." I bought this off Etsy. This is by the seashore, and I will show you the charm pack because I think I have it. Yep, here it is. No, I'm sorry, it's not by the seashore. It's called Seashore Drive. I'm so horrible. It is Seashore Drive by Sherry and Chelsea. And this is what the charm pack looks like. I won't open it up, but I can do a slow flip through. The reason why I allowed myself to buy the charm pack is because there are only 16 prints plus the background, so 17 represented in the kit that I bought. And there are so many more prints that are included in this bundle, but I think maybe save for a couple of prints. I think the curator of this kit did a pretty good job of trying to represent all of the different prints in here. I'm sad because we don't have this one, and I am a sucker for fabric with words on it. So I might allow myself to buy a couple yards of one of the word prints, and I really like this one. I was thinking about maybe that one for the backing, maybe in a different colorway. I'm not sure, but this is what the entire fabric line looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I am really enjoying my time working with it. So what I'm going to be doing today until people wake up is drinking some coffee and blowing my nose, apparently. Hey, Sue, how are you? And then we're going to da, 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 da. We're just going to pull out my fabric pieces and get to work. So I have all of these done. I'm going to set them on my ironing board just right over here so they're out of the way. They are huge blocks. Let me tell you, they are 16.5 inches. So, yeah, so satisfying when you get one thing done looking at the whole line. Yeah, it's so gorgeous, right? All right. I am going to move this down there and these up here and this over there. You guys want to see my cute little mouse pad before I get started? This is what I've been using as my mouse pad now. Look, this is so stinking cute. This was an FPP project. There were 4 blocks that we made with FPP. We did this in a goodness workshop. That's the word I'm looking for. We did this in a spools workshop on Zoom. I showed people just the little bit that I know about FPP, and everybody made one of these. And then I had some extra backing and batting on my long arm after I finished quilting a quilt, and so I actually just tossed this up there with a few other orphaned blocks, and I figured they could be mini projects, mug rugs, wall hangings, mouse pads, whatever we wanted to use them for. And I challenged myself in this one to do some intentional quilting on it. And so I stepped outside of my comfort zone and I did 3 things here. The first one is I intentionally quilted areas of the block with a specific motif or design. The second thing that I did was I used ruler work. And then the third thing that I did is when I did some of the quilting, I turned off my stitch regulator and I just allowed myself to kind of get in this zone. And I talked about this before. When you're in the zone, when I when I don't have the stitch regulator on, I feel like I get more like laser focused and it's just more of a zen. I like stitching with the regulator on. I like stitching with the regulator off, but I find I'm more zen like when the regulator is off because I am focused more on my movements and keeping everything even and calm and the same speed. And there's just something really soothing about that. So I want to show the quilting that I did on this. I, in the blue here, I did some pebbling. And then it was actually Tiffany's suggestion to do this because I wanted this purple cross to kind of pop up a little bit. I used Dream Orient for my batting, so I actually don't have tons of puffiness. Had I used some polyester or something, it would have been a little different. But I outlined around the purple to give that a little bit of lift. And when I did the pebbling in here, I actually turned off the regulator and I just did that Zen type thing that we were talking about. And then over here in the yellow, what I did is ruler work to get kind of used to working with the ruler. I did make a couple of boo-boos. I think there's one spot where I actually like it's on here somewhere. Oh, here it is. I veered off. You can't even see. It doesn't even matter. And this is what the quilting looks like from the back. I even put a label on it. I tacked the binding down to the front, handed it off to mama, and she tacked it down on the back. She has been getting all of my lovely she has been getting all of my mini quilts and other quilts bound. I've been putting the binding on the front and then pressing and clipping it around to the back, and she's just whip stitching them down. Sue says, doing well, is just going to jump in the shower and you popped up. We'll have to come back later for the replay. Awesome, Sue. Pat is in Idaho, still camping. That's awesome. Okay. I think I'm going to get started. So figure I'll walk you through what I'm doing here. Let me give you um, the view. So when I'm working on this pattern, there are so many pieces for each of the blocks, like a lot, a lot, a lot. Hey, Laura Lynn, how are you this morning? So what I'm going to do is just pick up each pile of fabric that I have for each block, and I'm going to organize them so it's a little bit easier. I've made several of these now, so I've kind of got it down. This pile here is the stuff that I'm not going to use until I put the block together, but I need to dog ear, snowball, whatever, all of these. So first thing I'm going to do is take the time to put my tone on tone fabrics all in an upright position so that I don't have to do that thing where I second guess whether or not I have the right side of my tone on tone. It's usually just easier for me to take a few seconds to do that with my tone on tone fabric right in the beginning. So I don't need those right away. I have to take an allergy pill because I can already feel all the sneezes coming on. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm awake. Oh, it's going to take a few minutes for that to kick in. The Not the coffee allergy pill, I mean. So we will just be ready in case I sneeze with a tissue. Oh man, I was fine last night and I woke up this morning and I have the sneezes. I'm turning all my fabric over. It is sneezy season, isn't it? Feel like the seven dwarfs. Oh, no breakfast yet for me. I'm not really hungry. I just want to start my day with a cup of coffee. I'll be fine with that. Mom and I have an appointment at 1 to go get our hair cut. So this morning I woke up, I took my shower, and I was like, I'm not washing my hair. It's a ponytail day because they're going to wash my hair for me when I get there. So we'll have messy ponytail today. And it's my hair is due to be washed. You know how you get that yucky feeling on your scalp when you haven't washed your hair in a couple of days and you've been relying a little too much on that dry shampoo? Yeah, that's definitely what I got going on right now. Good morning, Dawn. Hi. How are you? All right, so I want to show you what I'm doing when I stitch this. So let me give you the view over here. So I have got, you can't really see it, maybe down here you can on camera. I have got a marker line that I drew on my machine. It is fading a little bit, but this line is perfectly lined up with the needle on my machine. And then over here on the table is that diagonal seam tape that you get from Cluck Cluck Sew. And basically, when you install this on your machine, you do it so that the red line is lined up with your needle. Hold on just a second, guys. I just realized I forgot to do something. But you line up that red line with your needle so that when you're putting your fabric in, you can read it one of two ways. Either you can use it for stitch and flip, or you can use it um, to sew a quarter inch away from the line whenever you're doing like two at a time or whatever half square triangle units. You can also use this black line to measure quarter inch seam just normally. So what that means, I'm doing a poor job of explaining this. Let me walk you back. So on the diagonal seam tape, when I'm feeding my fabric through, if the point where I am measuring a quarter, like I am measuring my quarter inch seam, if I line that up on this rightmost black line, that's going to help me make sure that I am keeping my seam about a quarter inch away from the raw edge. But where this becomes really powerful for me is if I'm sewing half square triangles like I'm doing right now or snowballing, if I put the point up here right at my needle and I put the point down here on this red line, then I know I am stitching corner to corner without having to mark to this. It works every time for me. However, if I need to sew a quarter inch either side of the line that I would have drawn, then all I got to do is the same thing, but I move it over so that the point up here is where a quarter inch mark would normally hit next to my foot. And then the point down here is on this black line. So this black line is a quarter inch away from the center line that I would have drawn. And this red line is right on that line that I would have drawn on the thing. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna move you guys a little bit because it looks like the angle is off while I'm sewing. See if that helps. Maybe not, maybe, who knows. Okay. Oh, sneezy. Okay, we're going to thread the machine because my needle definitely came unthreaded. Get in there. There we go. Just like that. And so for each of these squares, we're going to snowball. Thank you. I did 4th of July nails this time. We're going to snowball in opposite corners. So I'm going to do one here and do one down here. But I've been really into this crumb kind of like scrappy piecing. So I take my seam on that point going from corner to corner, and then I cut my thread and I come back and I just do a really quick seam approximately a half an inch away. And what I'm actually doing is I have this seam right here on my needle plate. It's a hinge. And I just line my seam up on that. And whatever that distance is, that's what I do. I think it is actually more than a quarter of an inch, but it's just a visual reference point that I can use. HSS says sometimes the fabric block piece is much larger and it's tricky for me to stay straight and get to the next point. That's why when I'm using my seam tape, I don't just run it right here. I run it all the way down. Like it's all the way at the edge of my machine. So on my machine, I drew a line with a Sharpie. It's starting to fade. I'll have to every so often I'll have to go back in and redraw that. But I do my seam tape like all the way down. And I actually feel like the seam tape when it's on my machine, just because you got to get into the bobbin so much, it ends up coming up because it's meant to be like washi tape and not leave a sticky residue. So the sticking power is not so great, which is by design. And I don't think that's a flaw, but it does mean that you have to reinstall it a lot. I wish there was like this is a great idea. Somebody invented like Cluck Cluck So make this. I would love a diagonal seam tape that is a vinyl clean. That would be great because that could adhere to your sewing machine. And then you could use the masking tape or washi tape for other things like your table. But a vinyl clean would be amazing. HSS says it looks like I need to get a few rolls of seam tape. Just get one. One roll will last you quite a long time. You don't need to stock up on dozens of rolls. Just buy one roll. You'll be fine. I wonder how many of these blocks I will get finished before Mom graces us with her presence this morning. Mm. All right. So now all four of these are snowballed on both sides. Now in the rectangles, I have to snowball all four corners. And I do that just by doing two at a time. Basically, we're going to do kind of like the flying geese type unit on each of the shorter ends because since the snowball pieces are going to overlap, I like to do opposite corners first. And then I come back after I trim them and press them, then I come back and do the other two corners. I love how you explain the different techniques straight to the point. Told my daughter about you also. Thank you again. Oh, thank you, Lori. That's very kind. I love doing this. It makes me quite happy to be able to spend time explaining things and doing videos and live streaming. This is a lot of fun for me. Stir says I put clear packing tape over the Cluck Cluck tape. Has lasted about a month. Now it's getting a little yucky edge. Well, that's not bad. That's a good idea. Kind of gives you that protectant layer. Mm. Da, da, da. What does everybody have planned for their lovely Saturday? The sun is shining. I know, like I think you can see the light starting to spill in I don't really have my lights on very high in here because there's so much natural sunlight coming in. But when a cloud goes over, it looks a little dark. Oh shoot. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a gorgeous day today. Sarah Weimers said machine. What are Are you working on your machine today? Is that what you mean? Or was that part of a question that I missed? Dawn is working on orders today. That's awesome. Laurelyn says, it's cloudy here. I need to get some of my tomato plants into bigger containers. Sarah wants to know, how is your mother doing? She's doing well, actually. So she is here. She came up a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, something like that, at the beginning of June. And she's going to be here through just about the end of July, July 23rd. She's going back home. But she's leaving with me when I go in the middle of July. I have a work trip that I need to go on. I think July 11th is when I leave for that work trip. And then right from that work trip, I'm going to the retreat that we go to in Alabama, which is the next week. So I will actually be taking her on a 2-week trip with me. She'll go on my work trip, kind of crash at the hotel, no additional charge. So why not? We're going to drive instead of fly because I'll be in the general vicinity where my retreat is the week before. So it just felt like, since I got to take my machine and everything and I was going to drive for the retreat, I just would drive for the work trip instead of flying there, coming back, and then driving down there. It just made more sense. Plus, now I have mom's company in the car going all the way down the road, and that makes a long car drive go a whole lot faster than, you know, not. Oh no. Deborah said, not all of my squares are double sewn. Oh, you're right. They're not. This one is not. Let me fix that. Thank you. And let me just eyeball to make sure the other ones are. These are, I think it's just the one that I missed. Nope, this one I missed. Thank you for that, because I would have gone to the point where I would have clipped it and I would have had loose triangles just hanging out. Nobody needs just loose triangles. Secure them to one another and make them half square triangles forever. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're going to twim. Twim. Is there a reason you put 2 seams on some and not the others? Yes, it's actually the pattern. So when we start building this out, and I think I do have the pattern in here so I can show you what the blocks look like. This is what we're making. This is the pattern that I'm working from. So, excuse me, nose, 1 second. Okay, that's better. So these are the blocks that we're making. It's actually right in here. This is the block that we're making. We're going to get this little like 9 patch as a secondary block once we put our sashing, and that little one in there is just a cornerstone. But this is the block that we're making. You can see each block is all the same color. So we have kind of like all of these pieces that shoot out away from one another. So the 4 pieces that are kind of going in the corners, that is going to be our square piece. And according to the pattern, we're only dog earing opposite corners, because what we're trying to make, I'll show you in just a second here, is 4 units that look like this. And we're doing this by taking a square piece of our print and dog earing opposite corners. And so when we set this into the block, it's going to give us that corner piece that's going up. The other ones that we do, and I'll show you in just a minute when we get there because we're not quite ready. The rectangles that we do are going to be the pieces that go in the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock position of the blocks. And that's going to still give us this shape, but it's going to basically be like this instead of like that. So you'll see when we get there. But that's why. And then what ends up happening is when you assemble all these pieces together, the way the pattern has them laid out, you end up getting this secondary star pattern out of the background fabric right in the middle, and it's just, uh, it's just beautiful. I know they called it Magnolia, but I feel like I keep calling it Magnolia Stars because what I see is the star in the middle. Oh, shoot. KD said, I finished my patriotic quilt last night. Next is continuing on my fabric organization project. Stacking everything on the spare bed was not working. Oh, geez. Mm. Nairo, am I saying that right? Nairo says you have a Martelli rotary cutter. Two, I have one, but I don't know how to change the blade, so I haven't used it for a while. Hey, I have a video on that. Go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel under helpful tips and tricks and demos. It walks you through how to change the blade and how to do all of that stuff. So, yeah, go check that video out. That might help you out a bit. Good morning, Jackie. Lori says, I just bought that pattern. I think I'll cut it in the next few days. The cutting is, there's a lot of pieces to cut, but you're cutting the same cuts from 16 fat quarters. So if you stack your fat quarters into piles of multiple fat quarters, the cutting will go so much faster. Or if you have an AccuQuilt, you can do it because you're just cutting squares and rectangles. So you could use a die cutter for this too, I'm sure. Good morning from Mississippi, or good morning to Mississippi, Lisa. Janet is making 2 exploding heart quilts for her granddaughters. Good morning to Utah, Miss Jewel. I turned down the contrast on the camera for the overhead so that when I'm working with like these tone on tones, you can see the detail in the white fabric and things aren't getting washed out. It feels like the picture looks a little dark to me, but the colors, like the contrast is much better. But things do look a little dark. Like this looks like it's black and it's really just a really dark gray. Maybe it's coming, maybe it's just my monitor. You'll never get colors to represent 100% correctly, I guess, on a computer monitor. So, but it is pretty stinking close. Vicky said it's 84 in Upper Michigan. It's 74 going to be a hot day. Oh, it's 8:43 and it's 74. That's what she's meant. Not even 9 o'clock and it's already 74 in Michigan. That's pretty warm for Upper Michigan. Anne is also in Mississippi. Diane is in Massachusetts. Good morning, ladies. I just realized what time it is here in California. 5:44 a.m. OMG goodness, Deborah. I'm so sorry it's so early. Good morning to beautiful Quebec City, not Quebec, Quebec, right? Lori said, and muggy in Michigan. When is it not muggy in Michigan? That's what I'd like to know. I need to get my iron heating up. It's already 79 in southern Illinois. Wonder what it is here today. Good morning from Arkansas, Mary says. It's almost 90 degrees already. Deborah, Laura said, early bird gets the stream. Good morning, Denise. She says she's surprised to see me here. Oh, Stir says, I would love to see a video of you doing ruler work. What is your favorite ruler? So, spoiler alert, I have just started ruler work. I do have all, I mean all, including the new ones that just came out, of the Angela Walters free motion quilting rulers. And I have a feeling I'm going to love them. But the one that I've been using the most is Slim because it's really useful to do echoing around a block or stitching in the ditch. And I really just haven't taken the plunge and started playing with some of the other rulers in the collection. 82 or 72 in Fredericksburg. Well, then it's probably 72 or comparable here. I'm about a half an hour north of Fredericksburg. 75 in Detroit. All right. So now all of these pieces, I'm just going to stack because we're going to go back to the machine and we're going to snowball the other corners. So we're going to end up with a snowball on all four sides. But before I do that, since I am got my little mat out in front of me, I'm going to bring my iron in and press all these corners off to the sides, just like this. Good morning, VR. How are you? Okay. Now we're going to go back to the machine. Gonna go back to the machine. I feel like singing the Back to the Future theme song. Deborah said it's all good. Had to let the fur babies out and turned on the TV. We fought when our puppy passed last year. And by puppy, I mean 12-year-old hound dog who was extremely old. But when Aiden passed last year, we thought that we were done getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to let him out. But apparently, Tommy, our cat, has decided to take over, waking us up early. So every morning about 4:30, 5 o'clock, he knows what time Jason normally wakes up for work, which is usually around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Jason's an early riser, always has been, and he also goes to bed quite early to make up for that. But every morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock, the cat comes into the bedroom and just starts meowing very loudly for you. But haha, we have discovered a trick. And that trick is if we shut our bedroom door when we go to bed and the cat is not sleeping in our bedroom, he'll usually go curl up somewhere else in the house. But if he's not sleeping in our bedroom, then that allows us to sleep peacefully and wake up when we wake up. However, when we wake up and open the door and come out, he hears us. He must hear us like getting ready and like getting out of bed in the morning because he always seems to be right outside our door, like as soon as it opens. And he is like mad yelling at it. Like it sounds like yell meowing. He's like, meow, meow. Oh, like we know you're not starving because you have food in your dish still. There's still water there. What are you possibly upset about? You upset that we shut the door and didn't let you sleep on the bed? Is that what it is? Maybe. Wonder if some cats are pack animals. Because he certainly does like to be around people. Thank you, VR. I went with a 4th of July patriotic theme today, or this time. So I'll have these for about 2 weeks. All right, one more. Vicky says, my grandson went home yesterday. I'm going to miss him. He's 17. Oh, how long was he visiting for? How long did you get to visit with him before he had to leave? Oh, yes, my cat gets very attention if I show attention to anything or anyone, right? Ooh, I'm glad I muted that in time because that was a loud sneeze. I think I yell sneezed. Yep, glad I muted that one too. That allergy pill will kick in just a couple minutes. I do this every morning. I'm not sick. I just have sneezies every morning around this time of the year. If I go to work without taking an allergy pill, I will sit at my desk and I will sneeze for what feels like a half an hour straight. I have been known to hear people at work say, "Okay, I'm not saying bless you anymore." So I'm not sick. Thank you. Ever notice that cars are always on the wrong side of, oh, cats are always on the wrong side of the door? What is the backing on your wool mat? Dawn is asking. So the mat that I was using just a minute ago, which I'm going to bring back out when I do my pressing, it is the Martelli press and cut mat. They make that in a variety of sizes. The first one they ever made was a 12 by 12. David Martelli was kind enough to send one to me for free, and I absolutely loved it. And I told him the only piece of feedback I had about it, other than they needed a stronger glue to hold all the pieces together, was that they needed to make it in a bigger size. So then they started making it in the 12 by 18. And I bought the 12 by 18. And I just recently talked to him before they had the fire at the warehouse, actually. And I was like, no, 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 no. When I said bigger size, I meant you like need the 18 by 24 piece because I want to fold out an entire fat quarter onto that mat. And he was like, oh, okay. So I think they are going to make or already make or whatever an 18 by 24 press and cut mat, but they're amazing. They are a little pricey, but I feel like they are worth it. If you get the right size, like the 18 by 24, if you get that size, then you kind of, it's like, it's two really good notions in one. And they're great to take with you to a friend's house or a sew in or a retreat. So, highly recommend those. Do you have a HAPA filter purifier in your bedroom? I think so. It's only in the morning that it's like this. I don't, and it's always been like I've been like this for years. Maybe I don't. I think the reason why I'm saying I think so is because it's not an extra device. It would be built into the furnace that we have. But maybe getting like its own filter, like a dedicated filter for while I sleep would help so I don't wake up with the sneezies. Maybe that would help. And maybe I could also put one in here. Although I feel like I'm fine in here most of the time. Josie says, it's a busy morning listening to you, watching Canadian tennis player Bianca, I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that one, in a final in Europe and doing some sewing. Multitasks it is. Sneezy and being so stuffed up. Breathing in the dust as you're sleeping. When you stand up, your body is trying to get rid of it. Oh, we do actually sleep with, that would make sense. I like air to move in the while I'm sleeping. So we sleep with our ceiling fan on, and that's probably causing all of this. My body's like, okay, get out of here. I bet that's what it is. All right. I can't sleep if air is not moving. So sorry. But maybe there's a better thing to use. Maybe not a ceiling fan, maybe something else. Mm, yep. VR says his daughter is the same way with allergies. She has to take a pill in the morning and at night. Sometimes I have to double up. When we had Aiden, there were times of the year where my doctor would have me take an antihistamine in the morning and an antihistamine and decongestant at nighttime. I had to do both. So I feel you. I feel you. Mary said, I used to cat sit for my daughter, and her cat's favorite place to hide was on the velvet in the sewing room. Of course, I didn't realize that until the cat went home. Janet says I have to have a fan on all year long. Same, same. All right, so let me show you what we're going to do next. We've got our rectangles here, and you can see we've snowballed all four corners. We have our squares, we've snowballed opposite corners. This is going to be our center square, so I'm just going to set that there. Then I'm going to pick up four of these rectangles, 3, 4, and I'm just going to sew this square onto the right side of that. Good morning, Colleen. There we go. So what we're doing now is we're going to put this onto four of these units. Then I like to press it towards the background, so that white, just so that my seams will not stop when it goes up on when it sews into the block. Guess I could do it the other way, but I would have to press the other way too. And I've already started it this way. So I don't feel like it's a bad thing to press underneath the lighter fabric, because sometimes you have to, right? You can avoid it if you want to, but I think the thing that really matters when you're pressing under that lighter fabric is just to make sure that you're clipping any loose threads before you put it on for quilting. It's really the threads that you're going to see. I'm sure if I was entering this in a quilt show though, I would get knocked down for doing this. So Chris says, I bought an air purifier where you can put drops of oil in the top and it helps with fluff and lint off fabric. Huh. I'll have to try that. Vicky says her pain has been so bad that she's been sleeping in the recliners. I think my mom's been sleeping in her recliner too. So I feel ya. All right. So this is my press and cut mat, by the way. I do have two of them. I have one in this size and I have another one in the 12 by 18. But if you guys watched my live stream where I was trying to make the paper fabric stars, like I broke it. I broke it. And you can see this is glue because I've tried to glue it back on and it does not want to go back on. So I usually have to like hold it together, but it still functions. It just is now two pieces instead of one. So yeah, I broke it. It's not because it was a bad product, it's because I used it incorrectly. Oh, shoot. But this is the press and cut mat. You have wool mat on one side and cutting mat on the other side. And I really need to like put this under a faucet and do some cleaning because I've got some stuff on here and it's just I've been using it for a couple of years now. It's seen some better days. It really needs a good deep clean. I just haven't done that. And I feel like I use this way too much to be without it. Like, no, not today. No, still not today. Can you re-glue it? I did glue it. That was super glue. That was Gorilla Glue. It didn't stick. I don't know. Like, maybe one day I'll mess with it, but I also feel like I just want to get the 18 by 24 mat and move on. So we'll see. So Becca flexing her muscles. All right, so now we've got these rectangles. We're going to set those off. We're going to set these off, and I'm going to work on these squares. I like to make sure that all my squares are going in the same direction because what I'm going to do is attach this white rectangle off to the right of it. And then we're going to put this in the lower right hand corner. And we're going to make all four the same way because we're going to put this in the lower right hand corner. Then we're going to rotate it, put it up here, rotate it, put it over there, rotate it, put it over here. Lisa says to use E6000. Lori says, how do you clean your wool mat? I don't know. I've never done it. You tell me. How should I clean it? It'll be the first time. I'm nervous to do it because I don't want to ruin it. And I love that sewing notion, but I really don't know how to clean it. Like if it was a regular wool mat, I feel like I could soak it in a bathtub or something, but it's got glue in there and the other side is my cutting mat. I'm just really afraid that I'm going to ruin the notion. So I guess I'll do it and I'll let you know and I'll take one for the team. And if I ruin one, maybe Martelli will send me a new one. I tested cleaning this. I failed. Please replace. Probably not. Bonnie says it's almost 6 a.m. in Arizona. It's 78 here right now, but up to 106 today. I hope to be working on my grandson's Minecraft quilt using the 10 Sisters quilting grid. It's a long process, but love doing it. I actually talked to Carmen's husband about maybe doing a 10 Sisters collab in the fall sometime. She's going to be at the Quilt Expo in Fredericksburg in October. So I'm wondering if I can finagle her into doing either a recorded video that I can edit and release or joining me for a live stream where we make a small one panel project using her piecing grid. Maybe I can design it and we can use her panel. Chris says, I use soap bubbles first, never ever soak. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. So just like, wait, hold on. Oh, car foam cleaner. Okay. Lori says, I don't have a wool mat because I have no idea how to clean it. I'll tell you what, these wool mats, they're the only pressing surface that I use. I absolutely love them. If you soak, you get a sheep back, Chris says. Okay, I won't do that. Oh, Stephanie, that's a really good point. She said to that I've got his phone number. I should call and ask him his advice. That's a good idea. I hate to bother him because I know they're going through so much stuff with that with the fire in the warehouse, but maybe I'll send him a text. That seems less invasive than calling because then he can reply to it when it's convenient for him. That's a really good point. I bet they put instructions on how to care for it in the packaging that I had 2 years ago. Okay. The trick here is making sure that the direction is the same. Got to make sure that the direction of these fabrics is with the square in the lower right hand corner and that other print is angled pointing towards it because otherwise it won't work. Okay. Grab my mat back. Just gonna give these a little heat press. I will say I have used this so much with whatever this crud is that it's not actually transferred onto my block at all. So at least I know that it's not going to get on my fabric. But you know what does get on my fabric? And I never had this problem with my baby lock, but I do have this problem with my Juki is for some reason, and Tiffany gets it too, and I think it's just because it's a high speed machine. This shaft right here, like this piece right here, gets black stuff on it. Look, I got it on my finger now. It gets black stuff on it, and I feel like it's just the metal from the machine or whatever. It gets gunky. See? This is just from one day because I did this yesterday. It's washed out. You can't see how bad it is, but I get that on this all the time. which normally if I'm just piecing smaller blocks like this, no big deal, right? But if I am quilting something or I'm putting some bigger pieces together, it can become a problem because that gets on my fabric really easily. And it kept happening in the beginning, and I had no idea why it was happening. And I was frustrated. I was like, where is this coming from? It's coming from this. So, best advice I've gotten with the Juki was actually from Tiffany, and it's to wipe that down frequently. I have no idea what that's from. I'm gonna make this a little trash can. Check out my hack. Empty tissue box. I'm just going to clip into the corners. I don't know if anybody else does this. And then I can push this down in there. And now it becomes a little trash receptacle. And I can fill that up and then throw the whole thing away. Good morning, Melissa. My mom has that issue too. Maybe oil. It could be. It could be like the oil and stuff like coming down the shaft. Maybe I'm not oiling it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not oiling it enough. Who knows? I am following the instructions that the machine says. So, oh, nose itches. All right. So let me go back over to the overhead camera. What we're going to do now is build out our block, and it comes together really easily now that we have all these pieces together. Like I mentioned before, this is our center square. So that's going to go right in the middle. And then these pieces, these rectangles, are going to go in the 12, 3, 6, and 9 position, like this. Do you see that star starting to come out? And then these square units are our corner pieces. So we're just going to put these in so that the little square is always in the outer position. And it should be angled in towards the middle. And that's what our block looks like. So we're just going to sew the 3 rows together. What I have been doing is sewing the top and bottom row and pressing out, and then pressing the center row and pressing in. Good morning, Julie. Thank you. She said she loves my nails. Haha. Doreen says she does the same thing with the tissue box, but she doesn't snip it. And that way her cats can't pull stuff out. That's a great idea, too. Oh, Lisa says, I have the same with my Juki. Also think too much oil sometimes. Maybe. Although I only oil the top holes like once a week. And that's if I'm sewing every day. So I thought maybe I wasn't sewing it enough. But maybe that's not it. All right. There's my top row. We're going to sew the middle row now. Good morning, Beth. Don't forget to be mindful of your block placement. Yes. Yes. I have ripped about half of these blocks because I have been not mindful of my fabric placement. And then I definitely want to be mindful of whether or not it touches that shaft, because even though I clean it frequently, I don't want any of that black to get on this beautiful white fabric. Like I said, I never have that problem. I don't have that problem with my baby lock, never had. It's just a Juki problem. Good morning from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Stormy here most of the night. Thunder, lightning, flash floods. Flash flood watch. Good time to sew. Good morning, Sharon. I know I'm guilty of too much oil on the bed holes, Lisa said. Me too. I like to keep it so, like, I top them off. until it starts to overflow, and then I wipe it off. So now I've got my 3 rows put together, and I just hand press them out. And then I'll put the 3 rows next to each other. I just finger press the rows and then sew the rows together, because after I'm done with this, I take it over to my ironing board. I actually do this standing up at my ironing board, and is that great? I take it over to my ironing board and I give it a really good steam press. Bigger pressing surface, bigger block makes sense. Is Sean here? Hi, Sean. Good morning. Don't you have a vlog coming up today? I think so, right? You guys check out his channel. He does weekly vlogs. Oh, there's Mama. She just texted me. Are you up? Yes, Mother. I am awake. I should just text her back and be with a link to the video. Like, yeah, I think so. Check this video out. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba. Up and at 'em early. This one goes to the middle. This one goes the outside. Everything should nest nicely right there. There we go. I can't wait to get this on the long arm, and I have no idea how I'm going to quilt it, but I am super excited for this quilt to be done. All right, so this is what our block now looks like when it's all sewn together. Isn't that beautiful? Like, legit, that's really pretty. Let me turn off. We don't need, like, can you turn that off? I was looking to see if I could turn off my name in the lower left-hand corner, because I just used Restream to go live this morning, and I don't think I can. Oh well. I haven't been able to catch as many videos lately as I wish. Have you done a tour of your sewing room recently? No, it is coming in July. We are hoping to have that video released before I leave for my 2-week work/retreat trip. So in the next couple weeks. I'm just going to set this on the ironing board so I can press it when I'm off the live stream. And now I get to start another block. My phone. The blocks are good. Yes. Okay. How big is that block? It will finish at 16 inches. So now, I wish I had my, need a hair clip to hold my neck hairs into my ponytail. I hate it when they start falling out. Like, I don't want to feel anything on my neck right now. So I will take care of that really quick. Melissa is tagging me. What is that block called? It is the block that is needed for the Magnolia Pattern, which is what I have sitting out right here. It is a really big block. You don't have to make mugs. Okay, got you. I got you. Hold on, I got you. Do, 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 do. Oh, thank you, Laura Lynn. And Melissa, we're going to give you some superpowers too. That way it's not all on Laura Lynn. Thank you. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. But I feel like, oh my goodness, am I really this close? I only have 4 more to do, guys. Like, that's it. And then all my blocks are going to be made. What? What? Nuh-uh, shut up. Yes, for sure. They're going to be done. What? I'm so close. It is going to be so pretty when it's done, right? This fabric line is just absolutely gorgeous. And I know this goes without saying because I know you guys all follow Laura Lynn over at her channel too. But just in case you don't, if you do exclamation MPQS in the chat, you'll get a link to her channel. Who is the Magnolia pattern from? Chelsea Stratton Designs. From Sherry and Chelsea, I believe. To make this, you need 16 fat quarters, 4.5 yards for your background, 3/4 a yard for your binding, and then 4 5/8 for your backing. So Denise says you are so organized. This is how I do all of my projects, by the way. If you could see like the top shelf behind me, all of my projects, like everything I need for a project goes in the bin. Even if it doesn't look organized in there, everything goes in here. And I put a little lid on it, which is down there right now. And then it allows me to set it on the shelf. They stack very nicely. The lids lock on. They're not airtight, but they lock on so it doesn't spill. And then when I'm ready to work on a project, I pull that bin out. And normally I don't have it on this one because I grabbed an empty container. I just started the project and I was like, I'm just going to get this done. But normally on this end, I'll even label what the project is so I don't have to stare and look at the fabric and try to remember what it is. In fact, I got to pull this one down, so I'll just show you. My Rose and Bloom block of the month that I am doing with Fat Quarter Shop. See, this is the same thing. I have Rose and Bloom, BOM right there. I have everything in this tote, including the pattern. So when I get my fabric kit from Fat Quarter Shop, I can just unlock the handles, open the lid. I keep all of my scraps for that project in a Ziploc bag in here. This is my oops kit that I build as I'm putting it together. And then each block that I make, I take the little sheet of paper that shows me what the block should have been and I clip it to my blocks. And then just like everything just goes inside of here. That's how I keep my projects organized. And even though I have other projects in mind, I don't actually start a project until I have a bin empty. And I've got like 20 bins. So it's not been a problem so far, but I don't actually start another big project until I have a bin to put them in. I bought some of those. Jewel says, I bought some of those when you gave me the link. It's so nice to have the project I'm working on all in one place. I totally agree. I think the only downfall to those containers, if I'm being honest, is if you have a backing that you're using for your project, you can't always fit the backing in there with all of your quilt top materials. But I fix that by keeping all of my backing on a separate shelf by itself. Craft a Simple Life says, I use bins too, but the ones I'm using are currently too small. These are the 14-inch by like 8, I think. Let me look. 14 inches long by 11 inches wide by 3 1/4 inches high. It says they're the paper size for 8.5-inch by 11-inch pieces of paper. They work well for me. But the reality is you have to do what works for you. So if that size doesn't work for you, find the one that does. I am, by the way, just organizing all of my tone on tones so that they're in the same direction, because that's a problem. Julie says, with Fat Quarter Shop block of the months, you end up with enough fabric to make an extra. Yes, they are the block of the months with Fat Quarter Shop. I absolutely love, hands down. I think the only, like, they're my number 2 favorite. My number 1 favorite is Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt, because you get exactly the fabric that you need already measured and cut. And then my number 2 would definitely be the Fat Quarter Shop block of the months, because their instructions are so clearly written and the fabric cuts that they give you are so generous that you can afford to be a little finicky with your cuts. You have some oops material. It's all good to go. Like, I can actually show you. Hold on. I bought, I just think I turned one in here the wrong way. I did. It's right here. I bought the kit for, it's over here. I bought the kit for the Bright Side quilt along, which was all the fabric you needed for the quilt top, like the background and everything. And I have now finished all 12 of my blocks. I recorded block number 12 yesterday. It was all the fabric that you needed for the quilt top and the binding. So I'm going to take out these cuts that I know I'm going to need for the finish setting. Just going to set those over there. And this is all my extra fabric that I had from that kit. Look how much extra fabric is here. There's a ridiculous, this is the back, like, this is enough to make a whole nother quilt. Maybe I need some background fabric, I don't know, but that is a lot of fabric. So very pleased, really good value on those. I'm just going to put this back in my bin so that everything is together. So if you've ever been on the fence about a Fat Quarter Shop block of the month or buying their kits, I can tell you I do recommend. Vicky says, hello, everyone. Can't stay long. Up all night watching TV and sewing, going to the store to maybe take some great kiddos swimming, have fun and chatting. We'll catch the replay. Good morning. All right, so I'm going to sort these the same way I did before, and we're going to start off this block by making the dog or the snowballs just like we did before. Fat Quarter Shop is so very generous with their cuts. Mary Baldison says, yep, they sure are. Why didn't I do... Beth, I got you. I don't. Aw, Deb, thank you so much. Becca, are you going to do the Boo Crew sew along coming up soon? No, I wasn't going to, but if there's a block of the month or a sew along that you guys want to see me do, let me know and I'll do everything I can to try to work it into my schedule. I love the whole point of this is I want to make videos that you guys want to see. I should have made Beth a mod. She has a channel. That's usually my criteria. So I just gave you those permissions. I know you're taken off, but now you have it for next time. Dana said, good morning, all. How cool. I can watch you live without being up till 3 a.m. Like I said, the Saturday mornings are a little different. Aw, thank you, VR. I said, I got a wrench. Oh, shoot. Oh, you want to see the sewing machine, huh? That might help. And Sean had emailed me about that before too. So let me give him the wrench too. There we go. He had emailed me and said he'd help out if I wanted him to. And I said, that'd be great. And then I just never followed through, but now I did. Apparently, I'm just giving out the wrench to everybody this morning. I've already made 3 mods. Now Beth and Sean can argue amongst themselves. Boo Crew is a mystery from Fat Quarter Shop. It's a free pattern that starts July 4th. I would love to sew it with you, Becca, Jewel says. You know what? All right, fine. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. Done. I will do the Boo Crew sew along starting July 4th. I will look in it today because here's what, guys. The Bright Side Quilt Along, my final video for that series, actually will drop right, like, I think 4th of July weekend, like, or the weekend after. So I just have to put that quilt together. And by the time that's put together, I'll be looking for something else. So I'll take a look at it. I'll check to see if it works out with my schedule. I wonder if they have kits available. It always makes my life easier when I could just buy a kit. Morning, sassy Stephanie. How are you doing on your Alaska quilt yet? Are you done? I haven't even started. And here's why I haven't started. Because I have been prioritizing doing the other things that I have obligations for, like quilting, charity quilts that other people have pieced, and I promised to quilt. And I've got one more to do. It's the one that Katie sent to me last month, or yeah, this month actually. I've got one more to do. I have been prioritizing binding all of the quilts that have been quilted and not bound. And I have been prioritizing my Friday night projects and um, the Bright Side Quilt Along for my videos. But more importantly, I was holding off on doing an Alaska quilt until I heard from So Yeah, because I was trying to work with them to coordinate an awesome live stream with multiple content creators, including them, where we did like a Saturday event, like maybe an all day thing, come and go as you please, something like that, or just like a 3 hour thing, come and go as you please, whatever. And we put together a very easy quilt top. And I wanted to do it towards the end of June or early July so that I had time to do it. It would give them time to plan and prepare because I know they've got a lot of stuff going on right now. But it would also give you time to finish the quilt and get it into them by the deadline. And we kept trying to tag up with each other. And I just think they're so busy that they haven't had a. I know they've gotten the message. I know they want to do it. I just don't think they have the time to really prioritize that right now. So I haven't started an Alaska quilt because I was going to do it on a live stream with them. And now it's a little too late. It's the end of June. I'm going to be gone for most of July. And I really don't want to do this like the first weekend in August. So I don't think it's going to happen this year. So if I do one, I might do it off camera. Or maybe I'll do it early 2020, whatever, 3. Or maybe I'll work on it later and I'll just set it aside. I don't know. I do want to make that one quilt from their basics box for the donation, though. Becca, I purchased a 14-foot long arm. We are finishing part of the basement for my studio. I want it to be big enough. How big is your space? It looks like you have elbow room. I don't like being cramped. I should cover all of that in my sewing room tour. I'm going to tell you now what it is, but I want to write that down because that's part of the thing that I've been struggling with that sewing room tour is just knowing what topics to cover. Size of room and equipment. This is my agenda for that video. All right, so how big is my room? My room was a 2-car garage. It measured 20 by 20. So, or maybe 20 by 19. So it's just about 400 square feet. My long arm is on a 10-foot frame. And what I will tell you is you want at least 3 feet on at least one side of the long arm so that you can get back behind the long arm. And then you're going to want the frame, that the long way, to come out away from the wall about another 2 to 3 feet so that you can actually work behind it. So my machine, I feel like I measured this before. So from the belly bar where I'm standing at the machine to the wall, it's about 7 feet. So my frame and the machine takes up about 4 feet. I have I have a HQ Amara, which is a 20-inch throat. So it takes up about 4 feet, maybe 3.5. And so it's about 6 to 7 feet away from the wall, maybe 6. Where I stand, I am 6 feet away from the wall. And then in my old home, I had that same setup, but in my old home, my room was only 13 feet wide. So I had the one side of the machine like at the wall, and that allowed me to have 3 feet on the other side to walk around. But this space is so big because it's 20 by 20. I actually have tons of room that I could walk around it from either side because it's floating, it's not hugging the wall. All right, let's trim these bad boys. I hope that answered your question. Stephanie said, I had to step out for a bit, but was wondering the following. I have a layer cake and 4 charm packs, all matching, and plenty of background. Would that work for this pattern? Let me look at the cuts. I think so. No, it won't. No, it won't. If you resized it, you could. The layer cake. So from the layer cake, you're not, you need 4 of these rectangles, and I don't want to give you the measurements because it's not my pattern, but this is bigger than a charm square, and it is not big enough that you could get 4 of these from one layer cake cut. Now, if your layer cake has 2 of every single print, you might be able to do it, but what makes this work, it has enough yardage, but what makes this work is when each one of these is the same, at least color value. So if you were really conservative with the color value, these might all be different prints right here, but maybe they're all the same color family. If you did that, you might have enough from the layer cake and the charm packs. You're welcome, Mary. I'm hoping that was helpful. I'm glad. You only need 16 prints, so you get 40 cuts in a layer cake. I think you could make it work. Just got to be really particular about how you group your fabric. But if you want it to be the same print for each one, no, sadly. But also, I will tell you, buying 16 fat quarters leaves you with a whole lot of extra fabric too, which isn't a sad thing. Took me years of practice learning how to say no, Janine says. It's not easy when you are a people pleaser. Oh my goodness, right? I hear you 1,000,000%. And I am learning that sometimes saying yes to myself is okay, even if it means that I'm saying no to someone else. That is a lesson that I wished I would have learned a whole lot longer, or like a whole lot earlier in life. It's okay to say yes to me and no to someone else. And it's just okay to say no to someone else. Like even if it's not because it's a yes for you. Pat said, would the layer cake work for Mary if she rotated the rectangles around the perimeter? Maybe. It's hard because I want to say the numbers out loud to be like this is how it would work, but I no, actually it won't, because I will tell you it's not a 6x4 rectangle. It's a different measurement, but it's close. And that's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about, but she could do it with the grouping. Hello, Shell, how are you? All right. Now we're going to press. Been chitter chattering so much that the iron turned off. As Stephanie said, not only is it okay to say no, it's also okay to not explain your reasoning. Yes, and I am learning that one too. I am horrible for defending why something didn't happen the way I think other people should or expect it to be. So big people pleaser here, big people pleaser here. And I immediately, my automatic thought is that I let people down. I did something wrong. I hurt them. I didn't do something right. And so I feel like when I choose me over somebody else, or I choose a decision that even if it wasn't a great decision or whatever else, I feel like I tend to defend my decision making a little too much because I am afraid of letting someone down. And it's okay to be like, no. Melissa said no is a complete sentence. Yes, that's correct. And you know what else I am learning is a complete sentence? No response. No, I just spit all over myself. No response, no answer is still an answer. That has been a big one I have been telling myself over the past couple months. No response is still a response. So, all right. Now we're going to put the snowballs on the other corners. I like to stack these so that they're a little more organized and I have all of the same colors together. I don't make them perfect. I just try to make them close. And then I put them back in my bin. These are all of those orphaned half square triangle units that are probably going to measure at like 1 in maybe finished 1 inch. I think they might be 1.5 inches when I trim them. Colleen says you almost made me spit my coffee. Yep. 100 Proof Quilter says my husband is always telling me, stop explaining. You don't need to tell them. That's right. They would make beautiful ornaments, wouldn't they, Beth? I think so too. I'm saving them all. I want to use them, I think, in a really scrappy border. Let's see, where did that block go? Here it is. This, I used some of the half square triangles from one of the first blocks that I made to make that, and I still have some left over. These are finishing at, I believe, 1 inch. Where did my, here it is. The half square triangle units, they finish at 1 inch, exactly. Yep. 1 inch finished. Isn't that super cute? And this right now measures 4 inches. Yep. No, 3.5 inches. Yep. 4.5 inches, 4.5 inch squared. Stephanie says, however, you must give the same thought and courtesy to someone who tells you no. Yes. Yep. And same thing with the no response. If no response for me is still a response, then no response from somebody else is still a response too. And if I don't want to be challenged in that no response, then maybe the right thing for me to do is not challenge them for a lack of a response too. It's okay to just drop things and not talk about it. You got to have two people willing to talk about something for the conversation to happen. I feel like I dropped something down there and I don't know what it was. Melissa said that comes from kindness is free, spread it everywhere. That reminds me of a time I went into DC years ago with some friends, and I had a ton of loose change in my car. And so I decided it would be free to do random acts of, it would be fun to do some random acts of kindness. So we're walking around DC, and I pulled all of my loose change from my car and I just started feeding meters. Any meter that was within, I think, like 10 minutes of expiring, I just put some loose change in. I didn't count how much. I was just buying some people some extra time. And I did it to every single meter I came across until all my money was gone. My friends were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Random acts of kindness." But they told me after it was all gone, one of them said that that was actually illegal. Is that illegal? I didn't know. Like, I didn't think it was. Like, I was just helping some people out. I thought I was doing a good thing. The problem with accepting the no response is you don't know for sure the matter is closed. It's still floating out there. Yeah, there can be issues with closure for sure. I get it. But if the other person is not willing to talk, then you're just going to bang your head against the wall, beating yourself up, trying to figure out why they're not talking. So just let it go. Give yourself that grace. I think I heard it is, but who's going to say you're taking it for kindness? Well, I guess I could see why it might be because you would be intervening and preventing the county or city or town or whatever from collecting a potential revenue. I guess I could see that. Deb says you're doing a good thing. Legal isn't always just or humane. Janine leads right back there. Oh, gotcha. I'm just reading your comments to each other, so I'll stop for a minute. Yep, that's right. I agree. Sometimes it's best to just let people go if they don't respond. I agree. No response is a response. Da, 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 da. Okay, now all of these, I have all of my cutoffs for all of my little half square triangle units We're going to press these and we're going to build out this block. Oh, Joyce says it is illegal to feed parking meters, yours or someone else's. Wow. Oops, I broke the law. Oh well. It was years ago. Like years ago. Zoe wasn't even around, so more than 10. Sad but true. Sean, if you're still here, people are asking if you're on Facebook. That's true. I don't think the law is federal, Stephanie. It could be by county or city or town or state. So they might be ordinances or something. I definitely don't think it's a felony. Gosh, I hope it's not a felony. Oh, Sean has a Discord group. Awesome. Should link that in our Facebook group. He is on Facebook, but I don't know that he has a group. All right, now I'm going to build out these squares. Where can we buy this pattern? Etsy. This is one of Chelsea Stratton's new designs. I'll get you a link. 1 second. Let me go to Etsy and find it. Maybe it's actually at Fat Quarter Shop too. So let me just do a little digging for you so I can get you a link. That's called Magnolia. Oh, it is on Fat Quarter Shop, actually, because I shared the link with y'all before. So let me get it. I shared the PDF link. You can buy it from Fat Quarter Shop. I will get that link for you right now. I'm logging in to do it because I have an affiliate link. And if you buy the pattern using the link I put in the chat, I'll get a couple pennies. And a couple pennies adds up. All right, links. I already got the link before. So let me go get my custom link for the pattern. Here it is. And I will put this in the chat box. There you go. That is the pattern. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to add these onto 4 of my background rectangles. There we go. And now I'm going to bring this over here. Just got a pattern and Boo Crew. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, yes, Boo Crew. While I've got their website up, let me check that before we go too much further, because if I'm going to do that, I want to secure a kit. So Boo Crew. Oh, it's Halloween, isn't it? I'm not a big Halloween fan, but I'm happy to do it. It's a stitch along. No, I want the quilt along. Ah, there it is. Quilt along kit. Oh, this is pretty okay. Pattern not included. Okay. Okay, we're going to add that. Yep, they still have, if anybody wants the link, I will give you an affiliate link for it, for the Boo Crew kit. Do you ever sew on your Featherweight? No, I don't have a Featherweight. That is a 1938 Singer hand crank. I have not sewn on it. Hi, Zoe. What's up?
I can't find the case.
I don't know what you did with it.
I don't know either.
Okay. I can't help you. I don't know where you put it. Did you check your bedroom?
Yep.
Okay. Did you check your backpack?
What do you mean the backpack?
I don't know when the last time you had it was.
I think it was yesterday.
Okay. This is why you need to put the AirPods into the case.
Yeah, but that's why I don't have.
If you need them to charge, Grandma has a case downstairs that you can put them in to charge for a little bit. Okay, there is a link in the chat for the Boo Crew. The pattern is a mystery sew along, so those will be released, I think, week over week. But there you go. You have the link. I have it in my cart, and I want to secure one of the kits before they actually sell out. So let me do this. My nose itches. Let me check out. All right. Yep, that's where I want it to go. And we'll choose UPS ground. Next. Just checking out really quick so that I don't lose my kit. It's logging into PayPal. All the things, like 15 different steps to authenticate you for all these different things. Complete purchase. Okay, I am officially going to do the Boo Crew Mystery Quilt Along. Now, keep in mind, there will be 2 weeks in July that I'm gone, so I might be a little late with some of those blocks, but it is happening. Joyce said, kids are so funny. First, I wanted to ask, kid or husband? What do you think of Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift is awesome, but there you go. Add to cart. What do we do? Add to cart. Yep, add to cart. I love a multitasker. Now or I forget. Yup. Sorry, I couldn't see it very well. Watching on my phone and small screen, I have several featherweights and I love using them for piecing blocks. No worries, Becky. So I actually, the reason why I said that, where I was going with it is that's a 1938 hand crank. I don't know enough about it to use it. I know it is functional. I want to use it and I plan to use it at a retreat next month. So I'm going to take it with me. I have a friend who knows a lot about vintage machines. I got that one for Christmas, and I honestly, I don't know if I have all the tools and everything for it. I think I have like one bobbin, and I just have some really basic questions like how do I clean it, how do I wind a bobbin, and how do I thread the needle. but it's not a practical machine to sew on because it is a hand crank. There is no electricity to it. And the reason why I was like, nope, I don't use that one, and where I was going to go with that is I actually have just secured a 1948 Singer Featherweight, and I will be picking her up at the retreat next month, and I will be using that as my travel machine. So anytime I go on a retreat, I go somewhere and I want to sew, I'll be taking the Featherweight with me. Really excited about that. Shopping during a live, awesome. ADHD, ADHD, good multitasker, won't ever remember to do it later. That's right. I think I like my brain never shuts off. It goes a mile a minute, which like even when I'm trying to be mindful and doing one thing at a time, I'm still thinking about 5 other things. Stephanie Smith said, I bought lots of holiday Halloween last year. I love that fabric and I'm going to use it again. I have some varying purple Halloween fabrics to implement as well. Becky says she has a couple of hand cranks that are for looks only. That's kind of her name is Nancy Jean. She's named after my mother. That is actually the whole point of that machine. It's just really more for looks. There will probably be I am going to challenge myself to do a couple of small projects using that machine. I don't have them right now. It'll be sometime in the fall. Joyce says, my brain never shuts off. I thought that was normal until I was diagnosed with ADHD. I have never been diagnosed with it, but I would not be surprised if I have it. Melissa said, when the kit comes in, I'm thinking Becca may go, why did I buy this? Yeah, I'm not a big Halloween fan. I really am not, but I could appreciate making that and giving it away. And Beth said, I can never turn my brain off to go to sleep. It will be the death of me. Oh my gosh, right? You know what I found works really well for me? Because I can't get my brain to shut off either. When I go to bed at night, if I can't get my brain to stop, I like to turn on either some music or a TV show or something, but it has to be a specific type of thing. It has to be something that is soothing. Got to make sure I lay these out the right way. Let me show you. Just like that. It's got to be something that is soothing and that I have no desire to really watch or absorb or learn from. So watching things, I love this. I like to watch like marine life documentaries, not like Shark Week. I love Shark Week, but not Shark Week. I like when they do a whale documentary or they're talking about things in the ocean. And I think a lot of that is because they don't do a whole lot of talking in it and you just hear like the whale song and the sound of water, and they'll talk in very like soothing monotone tone every so often. It'll knock me out. 10 out of 10. But the other thing that I use is sometimes I take a melatonin gummy because that really gets my brain to shut off. Gigi Quilt says, good morning. I just popped in to say hello. Wish I could sew this morning. Have too many chores to get done. Yeah, who needs chores when you've got sewing? Good morning, Gigi. My husband's ocean. Oh, did I do this the right way? I hope I did. Yes, I got to make sure that these are in the lower right corner. I did. Okay, good. Lisa said, my husband YouTube's ocean sounds to go to sleep. The other night I woke up thinking there was a thunderstorm. Nope, YouTube recording. Yes. But you know what really sucks is if you find one of those, I think they call them ASMR. If you find one of those ASMR like sleep videos, whatever, that have 8 hours of sound, when there's video ads that come in the middle of them, that can be a little sad and disappointing sometimes. Good night or good day. Goodbye, Denise. Not good night. Bob Ross, golf and prayer usually slows my brain, Colleen says. It knocks me out. Laundry is on the list here, Melissa says. It's either laundry or Nikki. Yeah, I might want to do the laundry. Hello, Ellen. Good morning. All right, now we're going to press these. I can't believe I only have, is it 2 or 3 after this? I think it's 3. Maybe it's 2. No, it's 3. I have 3 more after this block. Tiffany said yesterday she got a couple of these done, and she's been dealing with a headache the past couple of days, so that's not fun. Just recordings, no ads. That's awesome. Maybe format, maybe heat resistant glue. The glue. I have carpet cleaner attachment for fabric. Maybe that would work. Maybe. I'll have to check that out. Miss Topaz says, good morning. Checking in before a webinar. Good morning. All right. So now we have all of our components to make our block built. I'm going to put my little cute tiny star away. And as a reminder, this goes in the center. So we're just going to lay out our block and sew our rows. These go in the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position. Just like that. And then these go in the 4 corners, but that little square goes in the outermost corner. So we have to rotate this. And if we put it together correctly, then all of these, whatever they are, they point in towards the center and we get a secondary star pattern in the middle. So we'll sew our bottom and top row, press to the outside, and sew our center row and press that in towards the middle. So there's one row here. Goodbye, Ellen. Have a good day. Ooh, happy birthday, Felice. She said, I lost it. Oh, celebrating my birthday with a day of sewing. That's awesome. Joe Carmel said, good morning. What are you working on? I am working on my blocks for the Magnolia pattern. This is the pattern that I started with Tiffany in her live stream last week on Juneteenth, on Monday, actually, I guess. And I will get you the link for that pattern. There you go. There we go. This is what that pattern looks like. All right. feel like I'm not sewing. It sounds like, yep. Nope. Thread came right out of the needle. Nope, not sewing at all. Came right out of the needle. Keep hitting the pedal to cut the thread. All right. Let's try that again. Press this towards the outside. One more. And then I will have my 3 rows together, and then I will put those 3 rows into my block. Well, it came out again? Goodness! Silly machine. Get in there. Try it again. Are you using the knee lift yet, Becca? Yep, actually I am. See? Look, no hands. Lori said to hold your threads. Okay. Probably also should use your leader and ender, huh? I love how kids are like, I don't keep up with my stuff. I lost my stuff. So now I'm going to go talk to my mom, and my mom's going to find it. I've been telling her they're not even her AirPods, they're mine. So she has misplaced my case somewhere, and I don't know where it's at. But I also feel like sometimes it's not just her, because Jason has a habit of, if he sees an electronic device laying around that is not charging, he will swoop it up and take it somewhere to charge it. And so sometimes I think she's like, legitimately, I remember setting this on the counter. It's not there. She doesn't know when it's missing because she lost it, or missing because she didn't charge it and Jason decided it needed to go charge. All right. Moms, fix it and find it all, right? So this is the last block I'm going to do on the live stream. I've got 3 more to do, but I also have, I can't talk. I have some things we're going to be doing today, and I think it's time to get my day started. It was nice to be able to start some of this, start the day sewing a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to take a break. I made 2 blocks on a live stream, got to chat with people. Coffee's almost gone. I agree. Brenda says, I love that he is being helpful and making sure that things are charged, and it ends up being a problem too. It is. He's being helpful, but it can be a problem. But honestly, if she would just keep up with her stuff and charge it, it wouldn't be an issue. So, oh, let me turn off the picture in picture. That should be the last of the snot from the morning. Somebody asked, what is the throat space for my machine? I don't know, but I will measure it. From the needle to the middle of the machine, it is 8.5 inches. It is not as big as my baby lock. My baby lock, I feel like, is 10 or 12. It's a deep throat space. I feel like it might be 10, maybe 11. This is smaller, but I don't need a deep throat space for this machine because I have a 20-inch long arm, which, oh my goodness, I can't wait to get over there and do some long arming today. I'm going to load a quilt in the frame. So, what are my plans for today? Let's go through those. Weight Watchers meeting this morning, so I'm going to end a live because I think we're going to join a Zoom Weight Watchers check-in at 10:30. Mom's up. We're going to do her weigh-in. We're going to do a virtual meeting today. I'm going to get a quilt loaded on the long arm. Really excited about that. Not sure which one I know which one I'm going to load. I'm going to try to get 2 quilts done today. I know that's pretty adventurous. And I'm going to try to I finally I got a setup for my GoPro to record doing some of that quilting. So I'm going to try to record quilting one of those quilts and put that as just a video that'll be on the channel later. And at 1 o'clock, we get to go and spoil ourselves because I'm getting a haircut. Mom's getting a haircut. And yes, after that, we're going to stop in at the Fitness USA or the Planet Fitness, the new Planet Fitness that is opening right in the little plaza where the grocery store is, and just check that out. From what I saw, it's $25 a month for the Black Card membership, and that lets you use their tanning bed, their massage chairs, their hydro massagers, all of that stuff. And there's no commitment, so I don't have to sign up for a year. $25 a month. I think I might do that just at least to get through the next couple of months, and you use the massage chair or the hydro massager as a reward or inspiration for helping me do a little bit more workout. I think, my body can do those things now, and I need to celebrate that with a little bit of movement, and doing that makes me feel good. So now that I'm in a rhythm where I get to work from home a couple days a week, plus I have the weekends, I will probably prioritize going there on my days where I work from home and not the days that I go into the office. Because let's just face it, working an 8.5, 9 hour day at the office plus an hour there and back, the last thing I want to do is come home and go to the gym. The last thing I want to do is wake up, go to the gym, and go into the office. So on the days where I'm working from home, as soon as I'm done, I might go over, put in a half an hour, just walk on a treadmill, do something. And Jason can go with me, and it can be some time that we share together. So yay. Spa day. Otherwise, we're going to get our hair done. I might get my eyebrows done too. And then I will load one quilt, get that finished, and record it footage wise, and then try to at least load the second quilt so that maybe I can work on that tomorrow. Tomorrow is June 26th. If you are not already a member of the Spools level, you have a chance to still sign up. If you go to my website, on my calendar for June 26th, there is an event there that has all of the details, fabric requirements, and everything that we're going to do. We're going to follow the shabby fabrics tutorial to put together a cathedral window pillow. Now you can make the cathedral window block and just make it a mini wall quilt or table topper, although I feel like cathedral windows a little lumpy to be a table topper, but there is still time to sign up for that Zoom workshop if you're interested in attending. So make sure to go over to the website, go to my calendar, June 26th, you click on that little entry for June 26th. It's going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and that will give you the details for how to register for Spools and how to register for the Zoom. So make sure you do that today if you're wanting to attend. That's everything that I have for today. I'm going to get off here so we can go do our Weight Watchers meeting. I will have a weight loss vlog coming this weekend, but I'm going to wait until after I do my weigh in. Well, I've already weighed in, but I'm gonna wait till after we do the Weight Watchers meeting to record that video. So stay tuned, probably sometime tomorrow night. And block number 11 is hitting the YouTube channel tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll see you all real soon. Bye. Oh, Brenda said it's not lumpy for a table topper if you take off the table every time someone sits down to eat. Quilting Compound said, I just wanted to thank you for your Facebook post offering all the new YouTubers to post their channels. You're welcome. So what she's talking about in in my Facebook group, exclamation Facebook, I'll take you to a link there. Up at the top of the group, there is a pinned topic that talks about lots of YouTubers or lots of people creating their own little YouTube channel. If you click on that, down in the comments below, people just get to share and promote their own channel. So if you are not in the group and you have a YouTube channel, join the group and add your channel to that post because that's how people get to know about one another. All right, now I'm really going. So I will see you guys all real soon. Bye.